commemorate that day, and since we are having the NAC visit on 7th of April, we thought we will have a program much before that. So either you can have before that or after that. We thought we will have before that, and that is the reason we have invited one of our alumnus who is very much inclined in making everybody healthy through his profession, through his humanitarian approach to all the people, through his books, through his writings, through his talk, which he has given all over the world. With this small introduction, I welcome you all once again for this wonderful day by a talk on our planet, our health by one of our distinguished alumnus, Dr. A.V. Srinivasan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request our beloved HOD to honor the chief guest with a shawl and memento. Sir, please.
A warm good morning to the dignitaries on and off the dais, dear faculty and student friends. It is a great honor for me to introduce the chief guest of this wonderful session, Dr. A.V. Srinivasan. Adorning the office of Chairman of Ethical Committee, Employee State Insurance Corporation Medical College, and Postgraduate Institute of Medical Science and Research, he is also the Emeritus Professor of Tamil Nadu Dr. M.G.R. Medical University. He is known for his glorious 50 years of wonderful administration and great achievements in various capacities in Madras Medical College till 2019. He has served as adjunct professor of biotechnology in Indian Institute of Technology Madras and is the former chairman of Board of Research, Tamil Nadu Dr. M.G.R. Medical University. He has also been the academic council member of NIMHANS and the visiting professor of Cleveland and Hershey Medical College in the United States of America. His career map also shows his office as the president of Indian Academy of Neurology and fellow of Royal College of Physicians, London. The credentials of our guest for the day comprises a huge list of awards. To state a few, Dr. A.V. Srinivasan is the first Indian to receive the Association of Indian Neurologists of America Award from the American Academy of Neurology in Philadelphia in the year 2001. He is the recipient of Gem of Tamil Nadu Award in 2015, Inspiring Neurologists of the Country, Economic Times Award in 2018, 50 Years Golden Award in 2019. He has been conferred with Lifetime Achievement Award by Coimbatore Neurological Society of India in the year 2017, International Scientist Award by Good Professional Association in 2020. Our guest of honor's published work includes 10 books in Tamil, 30 chapters, 40 protocols, seminar books, and 85 presentations in the national and international level. He has conducted international workshops on electrophysiology, epilepsy, movement disorders, and headache. We are immensely proud to have the chief guest of the 185th graduation ceremony of Madras Medical College as the speaker for this commemoration of World Health Day. It is indeed a privilege to have you amongst us, sir. I request you to enlighten our aspiring young ones with your inspiring talk on brain health. Please, sir.
My sincere thanks to the Department of Biochemistry and the Govardhan Das Vaishnav College. I stand before you because I just wanted to say the first incident that took me really interested in this when we were just getting into the game. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. Everybody has to stand. There still. And Professor P.A. Venkateswaran will be seeing, we'll be able to see the entrance. Now we can't see the entrance. So if people who are not standing, they'll get some mild punishment. That is the beginning story, because in life, if you look at it, there are only two factors. I'm very fond of saying this. One is the truth, the other is the faith. Truth is your mother, faith is your father. The truth and the faith are the two eyes for the children. If you have truth without faith, you are blind. If you have faith without truth, you are deaf. Apply this to all the situations in life, you will come out successful. The truth and the faith are just united by a single bridge called unselfish love. Love for your family, love for your institution, love for your individuals, love with your classmates. I'm meaning love in the literal sense, not in the other sense. Love with your colleagues, love with everybody. That is going to give you a beautiful lesson called life in truth and life in actually faith. This is going to give you the first mental health stability. First, I thought of giving the traditional slides, but then I found that the entire audience is everybody, so I thought I would just give my thought process from the what we have gone through this, because I have lived in 50 years in Madras Medical College, and I have just sat on the opposite side and then listened to the various people speaking. The most important facet of any student to achieve a good health, this is my composition of A to Z in life. If you have this A to Z in life, I assure you, you can achieve any success in life. This is the broad, what I call it as a mental and a physical health. I'm just combining it in the form of A to Z for health. Once I finish it, then I come into the study proper. A stands for attitude and aptitude. The simple definition for attitude is mental. Take always positive attitude. Aptitude is both mental and physical. In which case, the positive attitude will help you to do the mental and as well as the physical attitude in your life in an excellent way. The second is the B is the behavior and as well as benevolent. Because to be a successful person, I always call it A to E is important, of which I'll come back to see later once again. But A is the attitude we have finished, B is a behavior, C is a character, D is a duty, dignity, and discipline. If you have all the four, you have E, excellence in every thought, word, and action of yours. Coming back to my other C, the behavior of the student's career, and then this is not exclusively for students, it's meant for the entire folks, because today's topic is only health day, because it is fixed on World 7. There the C stands for you must be calm and courageous. Never have a heated and as well as the haughty nature inside. You should be courageous. To tell you one example, if you are really tested, if you get angry, anger plus emotion is not permitted. Anger without emotion is permitted. For example, தமிழ்ல திட்டணும்னா எப்படா இவ்வளோ முண்டமா இருக்கு, யாரும் உனக்கு சொல்லி கொடுத்து தெரியல, உங்க அப்பா அம்மா பேச்சும் கேட்க மாட்டேன்ற, இந்த மாதிரி கத்துட்டேன்னா எங்க போய் நீ இருக்க போற, கடைசி வரைக்கும் இதே மாதிரி திட்டே இருந்தா. But remember, anger really affects you, both external and internal anger. So you must avoid this anger with emotion. But if somebody does wrong things, please show him how he is idiot, how he is a congenital thundering idiot, so that he is going to become a thundering intelligent person later. Now, education and excellence. The basic education gives you the character, and excellence is going to be a good behavior. F, you must always be friendly with your colleagues, not always fun. And second thing is you must forget what the real incident. The idea is தமிழ்ல சொல்ல போனா மறக்கிறது வந்து மனித குணம், மன்னிக்கிறது வந்து இறைவனுடைய குணம். Goodness and gracious in life, like Z stands for, and I always call it heart word and the holy. Holy means not the religious, it's the spiritual. It must be very spiritual because that is where the truth and harms goes. And I always call it I stands for intelligence and as well as for your industrious attitude. There's no point in having innovation, intelligence, industry, and as well as you will become an important individual only with your excellent mind. And the third, jovial and judging. You can be jovial in your character, but you must always be judgmental in your nature. And the kindness and as well as knowledge, they go both together beautifully. Because memory, pity, and beauty are all short-lived in life. But anything that has got a knowledge and as well as your what I call it as a kindness, it persists in your mind for a pretty long time and you are able to carry on your activities of the daily living to the utmost satisfaction of each and everybody in reaching an excellent position and as well as achieve power. Learn and then as well as love. You must get that. After all, the student life, you cannot forget it. You cannot forget your BSc and then BS. Like for MBBS, a little amount of, because by the time you cross the 21, after crossing the 21, the hormones are very, very active. So you have to be very, very careful. There you can slip into something which you cannot come back. Then next is of course mind and as well as mind is a web of thoughts in which the first strand of thought is I exist. This mind is the one that controls the brain and brain cannot control the mind. You must remember this. Mind is a web of thoughts in which the first strand of thought is I exist. If I don't exist, I consciousness doesn't exist. I cannot think, I cannot have a mind. And then K stands for we are finished and then in natural and as well as nurturing. You must develop the character of nature. You live with the nature because after all, our body is nothing but the nature. I will come back to the text of the topic. Madam, 40 minutes or 20 minutes? Now, nature and as well as nurturing. Nature is we are all what we made up of 5 elements. After all, when somebody has to ask you how are you, you can ask him what is your CHO, CHON, that's all. CHO is fat, CHO is carbohydrate, and then CHON is nitrate, that is a protein fraction. This man is made up of only 3. And you can, instead of asking how are you can ask how is your CHO, CHON, that's all. But how the biochemistry really makes a human being, depending on the cranial level, is the interaction between the particle and as well as the energy will come to it. Now, the most important thing is if you follow this, you can become omnipotent and as well as outstanding in your life. That is the basic build-up. Once you reach the top, very difficult to remain in the top, provided you have principles and poise. These principles and poise will give you definitely an excellent step for you to achieve greater success in life. And see that the success is also given to the students because he is going to be always when I see youngsters, their knowledge is definitely much, much better than ours. In our days, I know how much my knowledge I had in that particular age. Now I find the knowledge is blooming. And what it requires, I always call it a little amount of tampering your mind that is not absolute law, not absolutely self-centered. You must have a very quick response and then qualitative response. Then, first for students, please, R stands for read and relax. Please learn to relax. Your reading comes automatically. But if you only read from morning to evening, you are going to miss your bus. Read and relaxation at home, relaxation with your friends, relaxation by your nature. If you do that, you'll achieve greater success. And then speak and study. You must get the art of speaking. You take classes for the first years, third year students should take the first year classes. There is interaction between it. This reading and I'm reminded of an excellent slogan. Acharya Padamadatya Padam Sishya Sumedeya Padam Sabrahma Charipya Padam Kala Kramenacha. The meaning of that is 25% only Acharya Padamadatya. Teacher teaches only 25%. Padam Shishya Sumeda, the student only learns 25%. Padam Sabdharma Charipya. Through the discussion, you learn the 25%. Padam Kala Kramenacha. The remaining 25% of the knowledge comes through your experience, which is absolutely needed. Why I am saying this? The teacher should never think that he is extraordinarily great and imparting knowledge. The student should never think that he is extremely talented much more than the teacher. It places the teacher and the student in the same parlance so that the object of teaching is to leave the thought unguided in the years to come. That is the principle on which everybody works. Now, the greatest thing is time and as well as teach. You don't have to be taught by anybody. The time will teach you. Because when you say the present, PRE becomes a present, ENT becomes a future, yes is a moment which is a present. And it is a present and it is pleasant. So make use of this present beautifully in this college. And your future is going to be extraordinarily very, very useful and successful. Understanding and unite. When you try to understand your colleagues and then understand your institution, understand with your teachers, you will come out successfully in life. I tell you, that will only unite you rather than separate you and single out, and don't get into the mood disorders or thought disorders. Mood disorders as mania and depression, and thought disorders as schizophrenia. Because in life, if you're going to have a thinking process, expectations belie disappointment, disappointment leads to disillusionment, disillusionment and delusion to persecution. That's all of them. Then that fellow is only very bad fellow. He only spoiled me. This persecution comes at the last, but the beginning is the expectation is from us. So in life, try to be more and more understanding and unite. And I always call it, you come, you see, and you conquer. That is VIPNET. When Julius Caesar won the United Kingdom, he came and saw his only peasants. There was no army in England. So the whole Italian army just landed in the UK. And the people said, all right, then you rule us. That's how the ruling took place in UK. They just came, they just saw, and then they won Julius Caesar. And then, of course, this is also expressed by Alexander the Great. This VIPNET, you have to come to the institution. You see the teachers, you see the institution. You will conquer automatically both the institution and the individuals. And work and win. There is no substitute to hard work in life. You have to work and then you will win. Eventuality can be delayed, but cannot be denied. I always say this, that in life, you will be successful if you really work with industry. And of course, the other is the Zinon and Zenial, and Engan and Yearn and Zeal and Zenith. If you have all these principles of A to Z, I to give you the homework. Zenial and as well as Zenith, you have to read it from the Google God and then appreciate how one can be a host, and in the host, how you can really enjoy the. Because if you really want to have a good health, you should have only good health. Now, people have talked about the good health. For our human body, brain and as well as the heart is very important. How to really lead a good health means how to be with a good brain. Now, the question arises: is the heart come first in the uterus of the mother, or the brain came first? Definitely the heart. But the brain is very important. In 1 second, 2,500 neurons are formed. Like that, it should happen for the first 3 months to get our full 2.5 billion neurons inside the womb of a mother. And this is called the normal brain. When half of the brain is completely evolved, at that time only the lady comes to know that she is pregnant. In the 45th day, we all do the test. Why I am talking about this is the brain development and all the other development takes place through the mitochondrial sequence. That's the biotechnology and biochemistry. Mitochondrial gene sequence is given by the lady to the son. This is very, very important. Mitochondrial sequence is given by the lady X chromosome to the male. That is the reason why in our ancient people called ladies as Shakti Sharuba. That is, they give the mitochondrial gene for the male, and the male is able to produce the energy, and the energy is given back to the lady, and then the lady gets you another person with the energy. So they are the most successful. The brain organization is very important. And you must understand the relationship between the male and the female, because looking at the anatomy and physiology and biochemistry, everything, man is endowed only with 5,000 words per day. Whereas a lady is endowed with 10,000 words per day. This is nature's gift. So when the lady comes in the house and then asks you a lot of questions, the male should not misunderstand. They have not used those 10,000 words, and then they are continuously asking you more and more questions, and don't think that they are boring you. The same thing, the lady should think that the male is answering only 5,000 words which he has used it in the office. So when he comes, he may come with a monocular or one or word sense. Don't misunderstand him. The real health starts, the mental health starts in accepting that the male health and the female health depends on number of communication. Because if communication is not there between the husband and wife, between the brother and the sister, it can lead to real disastrous one. Now this brain is formed. Then how to keep up the good brain? I am speaking from the neurological angle, but you are given the topic as health. I will test the mental health and then the physical, the neural health, and I will leave the other health for the other people to do it. Because ultimately, man is driven by the will. That is, the mind is greater than the mind has got thoughts, and then the mind has got the mood and the. At the present point of time, if you look at the literature, in terms of mind, and you are feeling healthy, it is an emotion. Emotions and intellect and as well as awareness can never be scientifically proved at the present point of time. We don't know what is going to happen. At the present point of time, why I am saying is, you're all students, you must remember the thought. The spatial sequence of thought we have analyzed beautifully in the brain. For example, I want to move my finger. I have not even moved my finger. 7 areas in the brain are already ignited in the CT PET function. 700 milliseconds later, I get the feeling of moving my finger. 300 milliseconds later, I move the finger. This is scientific fact. That means the absolutely 1000 milliseconds only our present neuroradiological equipments have come to study both the structure, the function. And hence, temporal sequence of thought can never be analyzed at the present point of time of our scientific discovery. If you don't know the scientific discovery of that is the temporal sequence of thought, we cannot say where the thought is arising from. So if I say, because basically health depends on your mind health. Mind health is on thought. Thought, if it's going to be, where is it coming from? It is coming from the brain. It is also coming from the outside. What is the proof? எனக்கு அந்த ஐடியா தோணுச்சு ஆனா அவன் தான் பண்ணிட்டான். That means that it was available in the atmosphere, and you just, some of them use it to their advantage, and then, because beyond thought is a creation, with the thought is only invention. And this invention starts only when we begin this. Because biochemistry is going to be the future, because we always, doctors say, anatomy is the basis of medicine, physiology is the principles of medicine, pathology is the grammar of medicine, whereas biochemistry is the life of medicine. Without biochemistry, there is no person. The human being doesn't exist. And for that to exist, I think you need to have a very good mind. Because the mind has got a greater control of the brain function. For example, I'll tell you one example. I'm an asthmatic patient. Now, asthmatic patient, if he has a positive attitude and then decides that I will not get the attack, he is not going to get the attack. Same thing with regard to what I call it as, if I have a headache, I go to a doctor, and the doctor hands over the medicine to me. It touches my hand. If I have a full faith in the doctor, at once immediately noradrenaline, adrenaline, and then all the neurotransmitters are stimulated in the brain, and then that starts giving the substance which is going to cause the pain relief totally. Encephalin and endorphins are secreted in and around the periaqueductal grain. That makes a person immediately better with the pain. This we call it as the placebo effect of the drug. Then only the actual drug starts. Then what I mean by that is the mind itself can act on the brain and make the brain to function properly. This is one such example where the literally the immunology once again, if you're going to have the mind operable thoughts, then you can definitely see the effect. And we have noted down and all the yoga. I always say exercises for the body and yoga for the mind. தமிழ்ல சொல்ல போனா மோஸ்ட் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் வந்து உடற்பயிற்சி உடலுக்கு மனப்பயிற்சி யோகம் மனம் யோகத்தில் முடியும் யோகம் is very important. Just like the yoga, the second most important point for us to get a good health, please remain silent for 20 minutes every day. So I'm taking one by one so that the mental health and then the physical health comes. Why I say silent? We are living in a world of noise. Beautifully the work has been done in noise, but the work has just started in the silence. Reason. When you remain silent for 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes, there are connections coming in the temporal lobe which is necessary for us to record the memory. There are connections coming and then the neuronal connections helps us to retain it further. The silence is golden. And that does not mean that everybody do it for one day and leave it. You have to do it daily for 20 minutes. There are schools now in the Western centers, they maintain silence for 20 minutes inside the class. Apart from the prayer and then apart from that, please keep the silence in that. If a man is going to be silent, he is absolutely silent in one state. That I call it as a sleep state. There's the third part for us to have a good health. I tell you, sleep is an excellent. Please don't burn the midnight oil. Reason. 11 and 12 and 4 a.m. the body is being prepared by the brain with all the neurotransmitters necessary. If you are going to keep awake in that time, you are going to lose your efficiency. So everybody should have a good nap by 10:30. In our bed, we used to say early to bed, early to rise is a happy, healthy, and wealthy and wise. So go to bed, students. You will enjoy the success, I tell you. Not by just spending and whiling away the time with the friends from 7 to 10 p.m., come home at 10 p.m. and start reading till 2 p.m. Your efficiency it comes to 50% only. So the sleep is very good. The other reason for sleep is there are two components in sleep. One component we call it, forget you just remember the name, it's called rapid eye movement phase and the NREM is non-rapid eye movement phase. Why should nature give us this or why should God give this to especially NREM and REM? REM sleep gives you the mental health fatigue completely removed during the nights. NREM removes your entire physical fatigue removes. So in other words, if you sleep well, you will have next day both physical and mental health completely not spoiled. If you lose your REM sleep, there are days in which you get up beautifully with all the energy, but mentally, so the mental health really goes away. If you are going to lose the NREM sleep, you'll be mentally active, but physically you feel like going to bed. So the third most important factor for us is what I call it as the sleep. One should always have an excellent sleep from 11 to 5. I always call it 6 hours for a scholar, 7 hours for a traveler, 8 hours for a name. 6 hours is more than sufficient for us. This is the third is the most important health for diseases. And the fourth important point in this you must understand for health is our foods. Food is the most important part. Never ever get to this processed foods. I'm giving you this A as a consultant, B as a neurologist, C as a physician, D as really what I call it as diagnosis is easy if you do the point of this is the processed foods. Processed foods contains a lot of sugar. In India, is almost going to become the diabetic capital. And the diabetes is the one condition in which ஒரு பத்தியை மேனேஜ் பண்றதே கஷ்டம் 5 பத்தி வந்துடும் அதுல வந்து கண்ணு போச்சுன்னா ரெட்டினோபதி கிட்னி போச்சுன்னா nephropathy, nerves, neuropathy, vasculopathy and cardiomyopathy. So diabetes is the killer. This processed foods will give you definitely a status for diabetes. And of course, the last is fifth one is really for your weight and as well as your abdominal circumference. I give this as a simple formula. Height in inches is equal to weight in kg. That's a simple formula. If I am 5'6" or 66 means 66 kg plus 10 for a male plus 5 for a female. That means 56 to 76 my range. The circumference of the abdomen should be half of your height. Simple formula. You just go, you don't have to go to BMR, you don't have to have all the other BMI. This is a very simple formula. You do this and you should be all right. So the obesity and as well as this one is very, very important. Why I am saying this repeatedly is this. When I did medicine in 1974, not a single case of an youngster in the cardiac bed or with stroke. When I came to a DM in 1980-84, once in 5 or once in 7 beds, one young person will be with a high heart attack. When I became the assistant professor in neurology, every third or fourth person is suffering from either a stroke or fire. What is the cause due to? The cause is A, diabetes. I always call it A to E is a life. Once again, for easy remembering, A is of course is arteries involvement, B is blood pressure, C is coronary artery disease and cancer, D is diabetes and as well as for dementia, E for epilepsy or elevated cholesterol. So this can come very easily in your when you increase your weight and when you increase your circumference in the abdomen. See, then you can't have a concave abdomen to dance. That's very difficult. And everybody has this. So the most important point to have a very good health is exercise. Exercise how much? Before you are 60 years and after 60. Before you are 60 years, please, you can do for 1 hour. Whereas after 60, do not cross 30 minutes. Why I am repeatedly saying youngsters going into the exercise room and suddenly dying is because of the overstretching themselves, overstretching the stress. And hence, one should have a 30 minutes exercise. You must walk. Walking is the best form to diet. I always call it walking is the best form of medicine without getting diabetes. And live up to that. The diabetes live up to 100 years. That's a modern slogan. So once you do the exercise, the processed food when you come into it, the last, of course, is the stress factor. In the stress factor, one should be very, very careful. For that, I've already given you the beginning. Be cool, calm, collected. And always, this advice I give you, never think the other man should be normal. Other man is abnormal. He is a drunkard. He is a womanizer. Stop doing that. You be honest. You be good. And you have your character, everything settled. I tell you, there is much more than blaming others. Life starts because after all, life is nothing but L is love, I is integrity, F is faith, and E is excellence. These four are residing the life, and that life comes only with this. And few of the other things, of course, some of them are maniacal, some of them are depressive, is all because of, is it due to genes or something? Very, very rarely these dementias, they all come, if it occurs before 30 years, if the health is damaged, then look for the genes sequence. Now, if you have all this, now comes why the biochemistry. What is the essential difference between the physics, chemistry, and as well as biochemistry? Your teachers always thought. I look at it from a neurological angle. They're only usually particles and as well as energy. That's how finally it comes to. Physics involves the physical properties of the particles. Chemical particles is chemistry. But this, the most important, beautiful chemistry really integrates both the physics and then the chemistry. And biochemistry, I tell you, it is going to be the window of success for everybody because you are going to know more and more. Biology, biochemistry, and as well as biotechnology are the future answers, and you have a rich experience and you have a rich exploration. You'll always have a very good, excellent position. And I'm very fond of saying that biochemistry is the life of medicine. And these people, I heard that you're gone into the PhD programs. I was told, I think, I wish, I hope, because I have finished my chairman for the board of research. We are looking into the chemistry aspect now, because we were looking at the clinical side. Previously, we were thinking on the bedside. Now we are now saying about the not only bedside and then the bench side. Bench side is very important. The future of India lies in basic sciences. In my area, the basic sciences was left out from the scientific people from here, from your college. I think if you do the basic science research, you are going to help the clinician to the perfection. I always believe that the basic sciences is the basic for a clinical approach. And that can be done only by excellent biochemistry and biotechnology and chemistry people. And if you were to come together, physics, chemistry, biochemistry, and biotechnology, these four are integrated pathways for achieving a perfect clinician. The diagnosis depends on these four factors so that doctors like us can make a very easy and excellent decision for diagnosis. And once a diagnosis comes, I put it in this. Man requires only six senses. First is an observation sense or perception sense that the biochemist has got excellent. They have to have a first perception sense. Once they have a perception sense, then there's a recording sense. You have to record the values that you have done. And this value is going to be given by the biochemist to us. And we just look at it and say, oh, he has got this problem. Once you get the recording, then you get the common sense. Common sense is available for all of us. When all the three combines, perception sense, then the recording sense, and third, the common sense that you use, you get the excellent clinical sense. Once you give the clinical sense to me, it's easy for me to give a therapeutic sense. Once you have a therapeutic sense, one swallow does not make a summer, and hence you need a research sense. When all the six senses are present in an individual, I think we reach the seventh sense is called happiness in perfection. And that is going to be the order of the day. So my first appeal is you are all great. In life, you are great because you come to the institution like Govinda. Every institution, every born person is a genius. And every potential person has got his own capacity to think and then act. I think the whole of India rests on the young shoulders like all of you to cause much more greater steps. First step has been taken. I have seen now the growth of this college. And I am just slipping into part of this, what I have learned from here. I found that there is 100% teaching because the object of a teacher is to leave the untaught, it leaves the taught unguided in the future. That has been done to us. They taught us beautiful chemistry, physiology, biology. Of course, Pushkan was there. And then English above all. And with this, I think I have come to 40 minutes. Now, we always say the intelligent brain cannot stand the insult beyond 40 minutes. And then the attention span is only 12 minutes in the beginning and 12 minutes in the end. I would like to finish it with only one Tamil solitla. அது வந்து அவ்வை வழியில் ஆவேசின் என் பேர் ஆவேஸ்டின் மாசம் ஆவேசியின் புதிய ஆத்திச்சூடு அன்பே சிவம் ஆணவமே அழிவு இல்லறமே நல்லறம் ஈதலுடன் வாழ்க உண்பதில் எளிமை ஊக்கமே உயர்வு எண்ணியபின் செய்க ஏக்கத்துடன் வாழாதே ஐயப்பாடு தவிர ஒழுக்கமாக வாழ்வீர் ஓடு அல்லது உடற்பயிற்சி செய் ஔடதம் தவிர்ப்பீர் அகுதே அறிவு. This is my, and with that, if the professor agrees, I'll be delighted to answer any specific questions, which is anything. Since it's not a single oration, you can ask questions. Srinivasan, any questions?
Yeah, so that was a highly intellectual talk that we had today from Professor A.V. Srinivasan, the famous neurologist. So, இப்போ உங்களுக்கு health சம்பந்தமா if you have any questions, I hope நீங்க எல்லாரும் அவர் சொன்னதெல்லாம் புரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். எஸ்பெஷலி அவர் கடைசியில் சொன்ன கலியுக ஆத்திச்சூடியா
Obviously
ஆத்திச்சூடி அதை கேட்டிருப்பீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். என்னுடைய இதில் சொன்ன மாதிரி ஹெல்த் தான் வந்து இப்போ ஒரு முக்கியமான கன்சர்ன் எல்லாருக்கும். நிறைய பேர் வந்து எல்லாருமே, நிறைய பேர் இல்லை, எல்லாருமே வந்து சரியா புரிஞ்சிக்காத ஓவர்லுக் பண்ணக்கூடிய ஒரு முக்கியமான விஷயம் வந்து ஹெல்த். நம்ம என்னென்ன தப்புகள்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம் ஹெல்த் சம்பந்தமா, எதெல்லாம் பண்ணக்கூடாது அப்படின்றது வந்து இப்போ இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் டெக்னாலஜி வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறமா நிறைய இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வர்றதுனால யாருக்கு எதை ஃபாலோ பண்றதுனே தெரியல, குழப்பம் இருந்துட்டே இருக்கு. ஸோ நவ் வி ஹாவ் I can't say authorized person, a very experienced person, a doctor by profession, a professor by thought, and a humanitarian by nature, and I can keep on listing his qualities. So, நீங்க வந்து உங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் உங்களுக்கு வந்து I have seen எங்க டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்ல நான் பார்த்திருக்கேன். ஜெனரல் ப்ராப்ளம் அப்படின்றது வந்து inability to concentrate, ஒரு மாதிரி ஃபெட்டிக்னஸ், ரொம்ப அப்படியே நீங்கள் வந்து நான் நல்லா இருக்க போய் கிளாஸை கவனிக்கணும்னு வருவோம். அப்போது கிளாஸ் நம்மளால் சரியாக கவனிக்க முடியாது. ஒரு 10 நிமிஷம் கவனிச்சோடனே தூக்கம் வந்துடும். அப்புறம் மைண்டு மாறிடும். அவர் சொன்ன மாதிரி மென்டல் ஹெல்த்தில் மைண்டு மாறிடும், எங்கேயாவது போயிடுவோம். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம்லாம் யாருக்காவது இருக்குது, யூ ஹவ் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ், ஐ வாண்ட் யூ டு ஷேர் யுவர் தாட்ஸ். அது எப்படின்றத பற்றி he will tell you about how you can address those type of common problems. ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு இருக்கிற காமன் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ், whatever you have. நான் லிஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டே இருப்பேன், அதெல்லாம் எனக்கு இருக்கிற ப்ராப்ளம். உங்களுக்கு இருக்கிற ப்ராப்ளத்தை நீங்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா he will be able to highlight. So I welcome you to ask anything that comes to your mind. You don't get opportunities quite often, so when you get an opportunity you should use it. Okay, so யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது கேட்கணும்னா நீங்க கண்டிப்பா கேட்கணும். அதாவது ஹெல்த்னா வியாதின்னு அர்த்தம் எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. It is not disease. ப்ளீஸ் டோன்ட் மிஸ்டேக். எனக்கு ஒரு வியாதியே இல்லை, நல்லா தான் இருக்கு, அப்படி கிடையாது. அது நம்ம நினைக்கிற காரியத்தை நம்மளால பண்ண முடியல அப்படின்னாலே நம்ம ஹெல்த்தியா இல்லைன்னு அர்த்தம். அது மென்டலா இருந்தாலும் சரி, பிசிக்கலா இருந்தாலும் சரி. ஸோ எஸ்,
yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it is.
First of all, thank you so much for your inspiring words and your authenticity. How to deal with a person having dementia in our home?
I always say that you should not use 5 hand grenades in dementia. The 5 hand grenades are: number 1, having diagnosed dementia in him. Number 1, never prove what she said is wrong. Suppose she says, morning na tiffin saapidla, just give her one more idli finish. So the first thing is, never try to prove a demented patient wrong. So the second hand grenade is, don't express anger either in your words or in your hands against a dementia patient. This is the third one. The fourth hand grenade which you should never use is, never raise your voice to a demented patient. The reason is this: they are already having a slowing of the thought process. The thought is literally governed by dopamine. It's a neurotransmitter. Biochemistry should know. The dopamine is the central law of the neurotransmitter, which plays a crucial role from motivation to movement. So this motivation is absent, thought is absent, so action is absent. So they are going to take some time. Actually, you don't give a second one. And hence, don't do that. Don't give a rapid thought. And find, I'll just tell you one story, because this is going to give you the emotion. One patient was sitting in the clinic. Doctor, நான் வீட்டுக்கு போகணும். ஏன் வீட்டுக்கு போகணும்? இல்லை, என் ஒய்ஃப் வந்து அட்மிட்டட் வித் டிமென்ஷியா. ஒய்ஃப் அட்மிட் பண்ணி நீ ஏன் வந்து நச்சு பண்ணுவேன், நான் இன்னும் 10 பேருக்கு பார்க்கணும். இல்லை சார் நான் போகணும் சார். என்ன does she know that you are coming? No sir. Does she know you are going to bring the food? Yes. No sir. Does she know what type of food she is eating? No sir. ஏன் கொஞ்சம் நச்சு பண்ணுறது கிளினிக்ல? Then he told me that was a lesson to the doctors. Sir, she gave me food, everything on time for 25 years. I am normal. I should give her the exact time to food. Whether she takes it or not, is it not I am normal? In other words, சிந்தனையில் சித்தம் செதுக்கி சிரிக்கிய நாவில் நன்மையாக போற்றி அன்புடன் வாழ்வதே டிமென்ஷியா பேஷண்ட் கிட்ட இருக்கிற அது பண்ணீங்கன்னா போதும்.
Sir, thank you so much for this good speech, sir. எனக்கு வந்து ஒரே கொஸ்டின் மட்டும் சார். ஸ்லீப்பிங் ஹவர்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து கொஞ்சம் வந்து ஜாஸ்தி பண்ணணும்னு சொன்னீங்களா சார்? நான் வந்து யூஸ்வலாக எனக்கு வந்து 4 o'clock மேலே எனக்கு எப்பவுமே தூக்கம் எனக்கு எப்பவுமே வர மாட்டேங்குது சார். 4 o'clock சப்போஸ் கண்டு சப்போஸ் நம்ம இந்த முடிச்சுன்னா ஹெல்த் ப்ராப்ளம் ஏதாவது வருமா சார்?
ஒரே ஒரு நீங்க எப்ப தூங்க போற?
அதான் சார்,
நீ வந்து 10 மணிக்கு தூங்க போனீங்கன்னா 4 மணிக்கு எழுந்துக்கலாம்.
ஏன் சார்?
நீ 1 மணிக்கு படுத்துட்டு 4 மணிக்கு எழுந்தா ப்ராப்ளம். 4 மணிக்கு எழுந்தா ஏதாவது ப்ராப்ளம்னா டெஃபினட்டா if you get up at 4 o'clock, that is what our ancient Veda used to say. 4 மணிக்கு எழுந்தவன் நல்லா இருப்பான், நல்லா இன்டெலிஜென்ட்டா இருப்பான். ஆனா ராத்திரி எல்லாம் ஃபுல்லா உண்ணல் உறிஞ்சல் ஊதல் குடித்தல் பான் பராக் போடுதல் இந்த 5 பண்ணாங்கன்னா அவன் 4 மணிக்கு எழுந்தான்னா எப்பவும் நல்லா இருக்க முடியும். அதனால உண்ணல்னா புகையில, உறிஞ்சல்னா பொடி, ஊதல்னா சிகரெட்டு, குடி, இதை தவிர பான் பராக்கும் போட்டு அடிச்சான்னு வச்சுக்கோ, அவன் 4 மணிக்கு எழுந்தா கஷ்டப்படுவான். நீ வந்து 4 மணிக்கு எழுந்தா it is not a disease, it is not a disorder.
Yes sir.
But only thing is 4 o'clock எழுந்து
4 o'clock எழுந்து வந்து ப்ரே பண்ணி மெடிடேட்
உனக்கு
பண்ணும்போது
எந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் வந்து ரொம்ப பிடிக்குமோ அந்த சப்ஜெக்டை படி தூக்கம் வந்துடும். பிடிக்காதோ பெஸ்ட் திங் கரெக்டா 4 மணிக்கு எழுந்து நீ பண்ற பத்தியா யோகா, யோகா பண்ணு, அப்புறம் போகாவும் பண்ணு. போகா விட்டுடாது டிஃபனை. ஓகே சார். ஸோ காதால மட்டும் எழுந்திருக்க வேண்டாம். 4 o'clock getting up is an excellent sir. I tell you, instead of reading it between 10 and 12, it's an ideal time to read at 4 o'clock because we have not done a research. When does the brain maximally get stimulated? If you work between 4 and 6, excellent. Siesta time is 2.5 to 4. Unfortunately, the classroom is there. It's useful. Yes. I hope you got the point. You must get a good lecturer for you to be awake between 2:30 to 4. In Italy, people will not get you into a stroke. They say it is a siesta time, so they will not get you into the taxi. Answering to your primary question, getting him at 4 o'clock is excellent.
Thank you sir.
Excellent. Read well, do the one. Thank you. The contra is not true. Everybody should get up at 4 o'clock now. Remember, in science, in medicine, the forward motion is correct. The backward motion is always not possible. That is why it is considered as a science and an art. Example, I have a headache when I have a tumor. All headaches are not due to tumors. Like that, don't think any other way. You are perfect. And people will get up early in the morning at 4 a.m. when they start doing the meditation. And then don't go to bed at 8 o'clock.
No sir.
Exactly. See, all of them you do it. The mistake that we do is getting up at 4 is fine. But don't go to sleep at 7. Then that may cause, because at 7 a.m. sharp, you have started already all the transmitters. Basically, the 3 neurotransmitters are only very, very useful. There are so many transmitters. How will I call it? Dopamine first, acetylcholine next, and adrenaline. If you lose the dopamine in the morning, you are going to be finished. If you lose the acetylcholine, you get dementia. If you lose noradrenaline, you get mania, depression, etc. All the 3 is is actually isosceles triangle. Each is independent but interdependent. Yes. So 4 o'clock, I think I appreciate you. Every day 4 o'clock comes, you're going to be an achiever. Forget about the past, forget about the past. Listen, if you get up at 4, listen, you'll be highly successful in life. Next time when I see you, sir, I'm just very busy. Can you come and see me after 15 minutes? Thanks, sir.
So what is the neuroscience with clapping hands?
The question has been raised, the clapping hands. If you clap hands for something which you think it is interesting or which you think that it is very innovative, then you can clap when individual outside. But what is the clapping useful for us? But it's a very useful sign for me to diagnose easily the Parkinson's problem. So if a man is not able to clap 5 times without counting, that means he has got a coordination disorder. I can confidently say if a man is going to be slow and then no expression in his face and blinking rate is subnormal, he has got stiff lips, possibility of a Parkinson. We want to separate the Parkinson's from the non-Parkinson, the purely technical, but forget about it. If he's not able to, we call it clapping sign. Every one of us must clap. I always call it, if you clap, this is the 5 times if I clap it. If I clap 5 times perfectly, I'm absolutely normal. You can use it, you don't have to test it. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Does nutrition play a role in mental stress and depression? It was a follow-up question. Does nutrition supplements like vitamin supplements help in depression or mental stress?
I will answer the next question first. Will the vitamins help you with pumping of people with doctors like us, pumping you with vitamins? There is no evidence-based medicine, experience-based medicine. Yes, expert-based medicine are still in between the two. If you ask me evidence-based, there is no evidence-based medicine from the biochemistry angle. But in some people, it is really helping. Vitamins necessary. The fatigue can get relieved in vitamins. Especially cramps can get relieved. So all of you, I advise you to read a beautiful book called Medicinal Secrets of Our Indian Food, written from Indo-American Society. It gives you the full biochemistry of each and every stuff that you take. So answering to your point, there is no, unless you have a specific deficiency, either A, vitamin soluble or in water soluble or lipid soluble. Those vitamins are necessary for us because it's not manufactured. The vitamins which are not manufactured by us in the body must be taken with a limited amount, not in the pumping. I think the biochemist will tell us much more than what I can tell you. But nonetheless, vitamins does help you in certain cases, but it's not a prolonged one. Now, will it do any harm? Any food substance will do any harm? Definitely food substance will do harm. If you are going to take alcohol as a food substance, if you take too much of vitamins, too much of what we call it as, pardon me, if the crabs and prawns, if you are allergic to it, you can get a problem. Some people are allergic to prawns and crabs. The reason is now the prawns is a cultured prawns. The sea prawns are excellent. You can eat it without any problem. But you cannot find out whether it is a cultured prawn or a seasoned. So I always tell my people, find out if you can get a cultured prawn, you can eat it. If you can a natural prawn. If it is a cultured prawn, it's very difficult. You can get allergy. That allergy can produce weakness of limbs, headaches, etc. And too much of oily food. Once again, you have to decide. I give a very simple example. Before 20 years, abuse, misuse, disuse all your body and again. 20 to 40, do not really abuse your body and brain. 40 to 60, do not misuse your body, brain and mind. And after 60, do not disuse your body and brain and mind. So food substances, take it in quantities exactly. I think both nutritionalists and the biochemist will help us. In our day-to-day life, if you take too much of oily food,
you can get what we can call it as atherosclerosis, which starts in the cradle, goes up to the grave. That atherosclerosis can cause any type of manifestation, of which the commonest type I always call it as headache, stroke, neuropathy, and as well as epilepsy. So you have to take a good step. Nowadays, is corona even, can it be transmitted by food? No, because it is going to be boiled. So you don't have to worry. But the man who is handling it can hand it over to you. I hope I have taken too many answers for you because it's a very heavily loaded question which we are now doing a tremendous research. There is a separate book on nutritional disorders. I always say that it's a very easy to remember how do you get your disorder. You look at your fingers, that's all. You will get your disorders caused. This is thumb, This is due to trauma, toxic tumor. Index finger, I is infection, bad bacteria, viral, etc. Middle finger, M is metabolic and endocrine. Everybody wants to have a diamond ring. So degeneration and demyelinating disorders. Little 4 absent flow is vascular. Hand, H is hereditary, and ND is nutritional disorders. So that can give all type of manifestation. So etiology of any system disorders in the human body is our fingertips you have. So next time when you are saying any problem, sir, is it nutrition disorders? On me. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. So actually, as youngsters, we should need to know how to overcome three main things, sir. Namely, like overthinking, stress, and depression. Stress, overthinking, and depression.
Now, clinical definition for overthinking is very difficult to say. Reason: every 1 second you get a thought in your brain, and this thought is immediately dispersed. It's not useful to me. It may be useful to somebody, so it's removed. So overthinking is one phenomenon which can occur in the repetitive thinking. The same things about I want to go to college, I want to go to college, Suppose 100 times you say the same thing, then you must see a psychiatrist. So overthinking in one particular aspect is one particular sentence. Or suppose somebody has started your class today. Finished. 10 minutes you see that fellow is a black fellow, he always takes bad classes, he doesn't want to do any harm. But that sort of overthinking requires a good teacher can easily do that. That's an excellent point. The second point is overthinking. There are, I always call it, there are different 8 to 9 type of thinking. One is an intellectual thinking. One is there's so many you can just see the Google got. Thinking is a process before thought, and then the thought arises. And hence, there is no definition for overthinking. Continuous thinking on the same topic, psychiatric problem. That we call it as or a same thinking is a very important point. It's called obsessive compulsive disorder. They go and wash their hands, they are not happy, overthinking. I am not washed my hands, I am not washed my hands. Go back and wash. Then obsession is very good, necessary for our success. If the same obsession becomes a compulsion, then you are getting into a psychiatric problem. The same compulsion becomes a neurotic one. Then you are finished, you have to be treated by a psychiatrist. So thinking depends on the type of thinking. The second one you said was classically stress. How do you stress? I told you. Stress coming through what? Basically, the brain functions are only 3. One is cognition, that is called perception plus thinking. Second is coordination, that is movement. Third is affect, motor expression of the emotion. That is a function in which the man is made to behave like a gentleman and the woman is supposed to behave like a lady. These are the 2-3 points. So you can just imagine the stress factors can affect all the 5 factors of the human brain function. It may be due to A. I always call it once again A to I are the causes of the stress. A is alcohol, B is beta, jagda, C is cigarette, D is disco, dances, dames and drugs, and E is epilepsy, F is fasciculations, fibrillations, F is fatigue, and as well as all those things all occur in muscles or myoclone. All of them can cause. So you divide the stress into physical stress and mental stress. In the mental stress, you have to see whether the person has been placed in the Gandhi கையில ரொம்ப சிரிக்கலன்னா ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் தான். காந்தி கொஞ்சம் சிரிச்சாலும் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் போகும். புரியுது என்னன்னா பணம் நிறைய இருக்கணும். But ரெண்டாவது, the stress is also coming out of our food. Suppose you take too much of food. Everybody is interested in the pizza, yeah? Pizza and as well as burger. Yeah, that is an obesity cause. Please watch out. The food can produce stress because once again the stress is shown by number 1, increased blood pressure, number 2, increased heart rate, number 3, resolving not to. So you just take action against the stress factors. For that to get reduced, you take yoga. If you don't like yoga, go for a good exercise. If you don't like yoga or good exercise, go to your cricket or tennis, whatever game that you have. You burn your physical energy instead of getting into it. So you can get into sports. If you still don't get into sports, start learning and writing articles. If that is not there, so any one of the arts, if you take it, the stress is relieved. The moment you have a stress, you take to drawing, or you go and then enjoy with your friend of your colleague who has not got the depression. But both of you cannot be depressive. But each will be increasing the other. So be careful. Third point.
Depression, sir.
Depression. I have written a book called Mana Aluthai Vellum. Mana Alutham, depression is a function of the neurochemistry. It's called noradrenaline. Either it is depression due to a factor or depression due to what we can call it as an idiopathic. By genetic, you may not get the noradrenaline properly. So assessment of the adrenaline, noradrenaline helps the depression. The life situations, you love a person and then you get a depression. You were not getting enough in your credit of your sports. The depression, I'll lose the father, mother, the wife, the son. This depression can call it not regularly the loss of an individual. It can persist only for about 6 months. If it persists beyond 6 months, then only you call it as a depressive illness. Till such time you only have depression. So the sudden loss in your profession, sudden loss in your children, sudden loss of your close kith and kin, does produce depression, but it should last only for 6 months. Any depression lasting beyond 6 months, take it to a psychiatrist. And man has got to have a little amount of depression, little amount of mania, little amount of delusion, little amount of illusion, little amount of isn't it? Because it's very difficult for us to define a normal behavior. See, that's a problem with doctors. I cannot say who is normal, but I can easily say he's abnormal. So that is the crux of the point in which we come into it. Suppose you live only in delusion, and the delusion is suppose you get persecution, definitely you will say get depression. Then you have to go and see a psychiatrist. But everybody should have. Suppose you are always a little person, I think a certain amount of delusion you should have. Simple definition, delusion is a thinking very difficult to and impervious to reason. Suppose you start thinking that you are the Prime Minister of India. Very difficult. It has to be psychiatric. Suppose you say that you are definitely a king in the house. Accept it, enjoy it. Same way, illusion, hallucination, everything comes. And if you are too soft, people will really be walking on you. Or if you are very good, people will be walking with you. They should not walk in front of you or walk behind you. Both of them are very bad. Walk with them, side by side. Thank you. Good.
Thank you.
Depression for a student, you must be very, very careful. And especially smoking and drinking. It can cause an everlasting depression in you if you don't take it. Don't get addicted to it. The reason is this. There is a receptor which we have not yet identified. I think it is ready. Like within brackets, ready, it goes to the biochemist. they should be able to identify the receptor for us. If you take even one small peg, you can become an addict to alcohol. You don't have to take every day. ஒரு சின்ன ஜோக் மட்டும் சொல்றேன். இந்த குடிப்பழக்கம் இருந்தா டேஞ்சர். சார் 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 நான் வந்து எப்போவாவது ஒன்லி ஃபங்க்ஷனில் தான் சார் குடிப்பேன்னா ஐ ஜஸ்ட் டெல் தம் ஒன் ஜோக். would be wife telling the would be husband, என்ன மாதிரி நல்ல பொண்ணு இல்லை. only thing is I used to become occasionally very slightly pregnant. would you marry that man? Drinking occasionally not.
Thank you so much.
Sir, I have a bit subjective question. What causes brain hemorrhage?
One man is asking what causes brain hemorrhage. No, sudden increase in the blood pressure can produce hemorrhage. Suddenly your blood pressure increases. That is the reason why you don't shout. When you shout, all these things encourage you can withstand. After 60, you should not shout. After 60, this points out to me very three important things. சூடு சொரணையை விட்டுணும் 60 வயசு ஆச்சுன்னா. ரெண்டாவது சின்ன பசங்களுக்கு அட்வைஸ் கொடுக்கவே கூடாது. ஏன்னா நம்மளை விட அவங்க இன்டெலிஜென்ட். காத்தாலேருந்து ராத்திரி வரைக்கும் அவங்கள ஆசீர்வாதம் பண்ண வேண்டியதாக இருக்கிறது தான் 60 வயசுக்கு மேலே. ஸோ பிபியை ஒழுங்காக பார்த்துக்கணும். தண்ணி அடிக்கக்கூடாது, சிகரெட் குடிக்கக்கூடாது, கொழுப்பான பதார்த்தம் கொழுப்புடன் சாப்பிடக்கூடாது. சாப்பிட்டா பிளட் ப்ரெஷர். பிகாஸ் இது எதுவுமே இல்லாமல் அத்திரோஸ்க்ளரோசிஸ்னு ஒரு மெக்கானிசம் இருக்கு. that can cause a fungus infection, myocardic aneurysm. It can start because usually atherosclerosis starts from the cradle, goes up to the grave. So if that gets increased, then the coronary areas can bleed. So you can get. We always give this. Once again, hemorrhage, we can call it into nature induced and the disease induced. So youngsters are not protected. Ladies are protected till the menopause. Everything is protected for them. Estrogen protects them like anything. 1:6 is the ratio before menopause. After that, 1:1 after menopause. Stroke is protected. Hemorrhage is protected. Even if a person has a severe arthritis, a neuro, rheumatoid, or any other disease, during pregnancy, they become completely alright. We can't prescribe pregnancy for that. But nonetheless, it is very good. So hemorrhage, be careful. So be cool and calm. I told you, anger should be not with emotion. Emotion, when it comes, then only the problem starts. When there is no emotion, I tell you, you can achieve greater things. Anger in as I thought we are.
I request Dr. Kumar to come onto the stage, the coordinator of the value-added courses. So the students of second MSc, please come forward. I request our chief guest, Dr. A.V. Srinivasan, to distribute the certificates. Mr. Lokesh Kumar, please come forward. Students of second MSc, please come forward. Ms. Sharmila. Come forward.
வெளியே வர முடியாது, ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு.
Mr. Ilam Bharati, Ms. Sanju Vikasini, Mr. Bahran, Mr. Karthik, Ms. Satyashri, Mr. Sai Ganesh. Ms. Veena Sri. Ms. Revati. Ms. Udayamala. Ms. Jimmy. Ms. Lakshmi Sri. Ms. Kamali. Ms. Rita Priyadarshini. Mr. Usman. Mr. Ashok. Ms. Devi Shri. Ms. Saranya. Mr. Dinesh Kumar. Mr. Prabhakaran. Mr. Dinesh Kumar. Mr. Prabhakaran. Ms. Shalini. On the second year UG students, please come forward. Mr. Mahesh. Ms. Harini. The second BSc Biochemistry students, Mr. Manoj. Please come forward. Mr. Manoj, Mr. Motishwar, Mr. Jagadishwaran, Mr. Lokesh, Mr. Saran, Mr. Saravanan, Mr. Surya, Mr. Vigneshwaran, Ms. Bhavishya, Ms. Deepika, Ms. Induvadana,
Hey, connect off. Hey, Saran, off.
Ms. Keetana,
ಅದು ಮೇನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನ ಎವ್ಲೋ ಲ್ಯಾಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಆನ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ಲ್ಯಾಗ್
Ms. Madhumita, Ms. Mahalakshmi, Ms. Manasa, Ms. Monica, Ms. Nandana, Ms. Narmada, Ms. Netra Shri, Lakshmi Sri, Ms. Rachana, Ms. Roshini, Ms. Sandhya, Ms. Shruti, Ms. Sweta, Ms. Vaishnavi, Mr. Balaji, Ms. Jayalakshmi, and Ms. Sri.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. It is a spark that lights a fire of joy in your soul. I invite the Vice President of the Neuberg Crew, Mr. Duke Sholto Jeba Thomas, to deliver the vote of thanks.
So, participants, please remain silent. Yeah. Every special moment ends, and the occasion is no exception. A lovely and warm afternoon to our most valued and worthy guests, Management Committee, respected professors, and beloved friends. It's a matter of pride for me that I'm proposing the vote of thanks for today's talk. We will not be here without our alma mater. So first and foremost, I would like to thank our college, Dwaragadas Govardhandas Vaishnav College, for giving us this opportunity to conduct the talk today. I extend my sincere thanks to our Honorable Secretary, Sri Ashok Kumar Mundraji, and respected Principal Captain Dr. S. Santosh Babu. On behalf of our Neuberg Crew of the Department of Biochemistry, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our forward-thinking, inspiring, industrious, and respectful chief guest and today's speaker, Dr. A.V. Srinivasan sir, a person with high profile and a honorable alumnus of our college who spent his busiest time gracing to this occasion today. We are fortunate to hear your thoughts regarding brain health, and this is definitely useful for us. Thank you, sir. A special thanks to our co-speaker, Mr. Chandrasekharan GV, President of GVCCVG Canada, who also accompanied our speaker for today's talk. Thank you, sir. A special thanks to our resourceful and venerable head of our department, Dr.P.T. Srinivasan sir. Being the catalyst, he inspired us to do our best and stand as a pillar of power. Thank you, sir. A deep sense of appreciation, we thank our esteemed department faculty, the guide staff. And I would like to thank our organizing secretary, Professor M. Maria ma'am. And I extend my gratitude and appreciation to our alumnus, Mr. Ahmed Anas, for his support which has made this event possible. Thank you, sir. Thank you to the Neuberg Crew members who assist us directly and indirectly to make this webinar what it was. The essence of fruit is always tested in the last, and we believe the last will be the best. I'd like to thank all the students for their active participation, and all the glory and praises to the Almighty, whose blessing and grace has made this webinar, made this program what it was. This is Duke Sholto signing off. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. So we'll now have a photo session. I request the faculty friends and also the crew members to come onto the dais.
Bro, photo bro.
அப்லோட் பண்ணிட்டு அதெல்லாம் கட்டே டிக்கா ஃபோன் பண்றாங்க
ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்கணும் இது ஃபோட்டோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அண்ணா சொன்னாங்க ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்கணும் அங்கிலேருந்து பிசிக்ஸ்